Today has the potential to be the worst day of your life. Do you have lunch plans today? Do you have plans to eat lunch at a restaurant?
Yeah, it's good to see you, too. Good morning.
Do you have plans?
It's like the worst thing you can say to somebody when you walk in.
Well, it's dependent on answering this question.
I'm going to eat lunch today, yes.
Where at?
Here.
Not
Probably in the studio.
At a restaurant?
I usually eat right after we're done with the show.
Not at a restaurant. Because today is...
No, I'm not planning on eating at a restaurant, no.
This sounds like the worst day for me, too. I know you don't like people who breastfeed in public. I know you don't like people...
I'm actually into that now.
Have kids. You're into it?
Yeah, I'm into it. I like
you're
to make
some kind of pervert or
Yeah, I like
something?
to make them feel uncomfortable. Oh, my God.
Today is...
Can we turn this off? This is an instant tune out.
Take a baby to lunch day.
Oh, nice.
Does this not sound like the worst day ever?
Where do you get these stupid calendars? You always bring this stuff up. You know how I feel about all of this stuff. It's all like Hallmark holiday stuff. It's dumb. Like
there's a hashtag.
Why would we even talk about bring your baby to lunch day? How does that even make sense?
I get it from Twitter, and there's a hashtag right now. I get up and I look at
the problem with social media.
I look at Twitter and I see, oh, what the hell?
Okay,
Take a baby to lunch day is a thing. So I click on it, and people are like, yeah, take a baby to lunch day. Let's do this.
Can you turn that off?
Like, see how annoying this is?
Well,
what if
yeah,
you're sitting at lunch?
I know. Can you just turn it off?
Well, I feel bad because you're not going to experience this up close and personal
No, I've
like everybody
experienced
else.
this. This is called birth control. That's why I don't have kids. Can you just turn this off? I'm sorry. It's very annoying.
The best birth control today could be going to eat lunch in public because it's take a baby to lunch day.
No one's going to do this. No one follows through. Nobody goes, oh, look on Twitter. It's wipe my ass 4 times today. So everybody's going to wipe their ass 4 times? Like, I don't understand.
That's a little niche.
But take a baby to lunch day isn't? Like, yes. Why would this even be a day? Like, I don't understand. Where does this come from?
This is a day.
What is the roots of take a baby to lunch day?
I don't know.
How did it start? Why did people start doing this?
I don't know what the
Why would you
roots
celebrate this?
Except for the only thing that I can
God, that baby has already annoyed the hell out of me to the point where I'm getting cranky with you.
The only thing I can come up with on this is this day was purposefully invented to piss off people like you. Like, this is like an antagonist's... I
can't think of one reason why this is a good idea.
Moms and dads out there that are antagonists, that believe that their babies belong anywhere, including movies.
Is this like McDonald's? Like they started this holiday? Or some sort of chain where kids are welcome, like Chuck E. Cheese?
What would be the worst place?
They're just trying to get people in, so they created a theme day. Like, oh, we have to go out today because it's take a baby to lunch day.
What's the worst place that you could think of taking a baby to lunch? Like
anywhere. Anywhere. Seriously. Anywhere.
But a restaurant on the Central Coast.
Any restaurant on the Central Coast. There's none that stick out more than others.
Babies don't belong at restaurants is what you're saying?
They do not.
You hate babies.
I don't hate babies. They don't belong in restaurants. Babies don't know where they're at. Babies aren't going to eat the food at the restaurant because they're still, drinking milk.
So the moms and dads don't have the right to eat at a nice restaurant even though they need to have their babies nearby?
Moms and dads can do whatever they want. If I was a parent, I would not bring my kid to a restaurant because it's not fair to the kid. Kid wants to play, and you're going to tell him, he can't. Hold on, let me finish my thought. You tell the kid he can't play, he can't have fun, he doesn't understand, or she doesn't understand because they're an infant, and then all of a sudden they get mad. And what do they do when they get mad? They cry, and then they bother everyone else.
They scream and cry.
Listen, it's not the kid's fault, it's the parent's fault. All right?
But
why are you doing this to me?
The kids don't have a right. I mean, the parents don't have a right to eat at a nice restaurant.
Parents have a right to eat at a nice restaurant, but when you have a baby, it's called responsibility. And when you're taking a responsibility, some of that responsibility is what's fair to the kid. Is it fair for the kid to come to the restaurant and be this upset? Why would you put your kid through this, Jeff? Let me ask you that question. Why would you take your kid to a restaurant and then they act like this? Why is that fair to the kid?
There's a difference between babies and toddlers. So I'm guessing this is...
What's the difference between a baby and a toddler?
I think it's a year old. I think that's what the cutoff is. So up to a year, they're known as babies.
Okay.
So if you're taking your baby to lunch today, make sure it's a baby. We'll be checking IDs at the door. And it's got to be a year or younger in order to do that. I've tried this before. I've tried taking the babies to the
Why do you continue
restaurant.
to play this kid crying? I don't understand.
Because it's really getting your goat.
This is what you're going to do. It's got everybody's goat. People are texting in. They're turning the radio station off.
I guess a lot of people don't like kids like you do. But
people like kids. Nobody likes this.
What would be the worst restaurant?
How do you not separate this from liking kids? Kids are great, but nobody likes that.
That's what you're going to deal with today.
Do you like that?
No, I
You
hate
try
that.
to like hurt your kids and make them upset?
No, but that's what you're going to deal with when you take the baby to lunch. You're gonna deal with that today at restaurants across the Central Coast, and people are gonna be like, "Hey man, why'd you bring your kid here?" And you're like, "Because it's take a baby to lunch day."
Nobody's going to say that.
Sorry, bro.
No one is going to say that.
Get in tune with your Twitter.
I can't believe we just wasted the past 5 minutes talking about this.
Get in tune with your Twitter, man. You're really angry this morning. I love it.
I'm not angry at all.
You're fired up.
This is ridiculous.
I love it.
Like, where do you come up with this crap?
It's a day on Twitter. Twitter's talking about it. So I guess, like, where do you take
quit looking at Twitter. Twitter is the Antichrist.
It's the
Twitter's
devil?
bad.
It's
or find something else to look at on Twitter.
Now that everybody said that Facebook's bad.
Donald Trump's tweets are more entertaining than this. Take your baby to lunch. That doesn't even make sense. All these holidays just drive me nuts.
What, you're not the babies
or whatever they are. Celebrate this. It's milkshake day. What, I got to have a milkshake today?
The babies can't be enlightened by being shoved underneath a table in a car seat. Come on, man. That's fun for a kid.
That sounds like a great idea. Kids don't belong in restaurants. Okay, when they're older, yes, but babies don't belong in restaurants. They just don't.
But then you're telling the parents of those kids that they don't belong in restaurants as well, because you understand that
they do if they get a sitter.
When you have a baby, there's a responsibility within the first year, especially with the moms, that the moms need to be by feeding the babies usually, and you just can't get a sitter the first year. No parent.
You can't go an hour without feeding your baby.
Parents,
not sticking a boob in his mouth or her mouth.
Parents have a trust threshold in the first year that's not. Like,
eat at home then. Get takeout.
I remember
go through a drive-through.
We left my daughter with your wife so we can go to a concert, and this was when our daughter is like, I don't know, like 3 months old, 2 months old, and my wife and I were a nervous wreck.
I know you have never asked her to do it again, and she's offered several times.
Well, the reason
she thinks she did something wrong.
She didn't do a shoddy job. She just we just realized
she's over it now.
That seemed very irresponsible at the time. Like, we should have not gone to the concert and probably been parents. First and foremost.
Yeah, but people do this all the time. It's just, it was your first kid.
You don't want them to.
It was your first kid, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that
I don't want them to have their kids babysat.
Would keep parents of first kids.
What do I not want them to do?
You don't want them to go to the restaurant with their babies.
I don't think they should. No, I don't think it's fair to the baby. I really don't. If you're all about being a great parent,
is it about the baby or is it about you?
You should be putting the baby first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So therefore, now you're saying that parents can't go out and eat at restaurants the first year they have a child.
I'm not saying they can't do that, but they shouldn't bring their baby. It's not fair to the baby.
Okay, but then
you're missing the point here, dude.
It's not fair to the baby to leave it with a sitter, too. So which one do you do?
Why is it not fair to the baby to be left with somebody to watch it?
Okay, so you're okay. Are you okay with taking a baby, I should say, to lunch today?
A little baby. No, I don't think you should. I think babies don't belong in restaurants.
So then you're saying that parents of babies are not allowed to go to a restaurant today?
I'm saying
and eat lunch.
If they're bringing their baby?
Yes, it's bring a baby to lunch day.
I'm telling you what I would do. I would not bring my baby to a restaurant. I think it's rude, and I think it's unfair to the baby. That's what I think.
The baby or the other patrons in the restaurant?
I think it's unfair to the baby.
Why?
And if the baby starts screaming, then it's unfair to the staff. It's unfair to the other patrons. It's unfair to everyone, even yourself. But that's your call.
We're getting some suggestions.
You can't put it on the baby because the baby can't make decisions.
But today,
you make the decisions.
This is why I started off the show this morning by saying that this has the potential to be the worst day ever for you if you plan on dining out.
I'm not going out. Now I know I'm not going out. As a matter of fact, everybody that doesn't like kids at restaurants screaming and making a scene because it's unfair to them that they're there are not going to go to restaurants today because Jeff brought it up.
Mary says that a place that's laid back like Splash Cafe would be a good place to take a baby.
No, it wouldn't. I like Splash Cafe. I don't want to go deal with it.
Splash Cafe today are hearing this and they're like, no, don't. I don't think restaurants like it.
Let's
when
look at this. A place laid back like Splash Cafe. Why would you want to take a baby there? Is it laid back?
If it's laid back and the baby starts screaming, then that would probably have an adverse effect. Correct? Now, you used to work in a restaurant. Does any of your prejudices and
no, none of it. No.
Ageism towards babies stem from your experiences as a
everything
restaurant
changed
worker?
when I got a dog about when did I get Tank? It's 8 years ago, and then I realized how irresponsible dog owners are, and that people always yell at the dog, and it's the dog's fault. It's not the dog's fault. The dog is like an infant. All right, it's being a bad owner, or it's being a bad pet owner, and so it's being a bad parent. That's what it is.
Dog's not like an infant.
Donut shop. I don't know what that is. That a joke? Somebody put a laughing face next to donut shop. Like what? Donut shop? Babies? I don't get it. Maybe they're just laughing because they know it irritates me. I don't go to donut shops.
Raising a dog's not like raising an infant, right? You just said dogs are like infants.
No, but there's similarities there. You take care of a dog, you take care of a kid. I know that's different. I'm just saying people yell at dogs like it's their fault they went out and pooped on the yard. Well, where else are they supposed to poop? I mean, take care of your dog. Pick it up. It's not the dog's fault. Let's see here. Scotty's and Pismo. Family friendly, not loud. Oh, this is Jim. Jim says Scotty's. Okay.
Are the people at Scotty's on board for that, then?
I don't know. Hooters.
Yeah, kids would probably like that, I would think.
Chuck E. Cheese. There you go. That's meant for kids. Take them there. McDonald's. Take them there. It's meant for kids.
Yeah, that's true. Like those kids-friendly places.
Those are places that entertain kids.
I think my grandma used to take me to lunch all the time when I was a kid. And where would we go? We would go to McDonald's. And I loved climbing up in that little hamburger thing. That little
that was a lot of fun.
Like a death trap for children.
Yeah, because it was like a little space needle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It had like this little tower. Mm-hmm. So you're trying to make me look bad. Like I don't like kids. That's not true. I love kids. I have no problem with kids. I think they're fun. You cracked me up last week when you brought your daughter in. She made me a book. You notice that book isn't here? You know what? Took it home. Showed it off to my wife. Look what Poppy made me today.
The difference between you and my daughter is my kid likes adults. You do not like kids.
That's not true. You're such a jerk. Why would you say that?
Because you don't think anybody with a baby should be able to eat out at a restaurant.
You are so thick that you just will not penetrate through you. That I'm saying it's not fair to the kid. It's not fair to a kid to go to a nice restaurant and have to be quiet.
Is it fair to the parents?
It doesn't matter. This was your decision to get pregnant.
So then
you own that decision.
Now you're saying that anybody who has a baby is not allowed.
There's responsibilities that come with that. And yes, I don't believe that you should put that kid in a situation where they can't be a kid and they have to act like an adult.
Can I ask you
this
question?
It's not fair.
Why do those places find it necessary to have high chairs or what is known as a baby sling, or make accommodations for people with kids if kids aren't supposed to, or babies aren't supposed to be at restaurants?
Do you put babies in a high chair? There's babies stay in their little thing.
It's a little thing called a sling.
Now, we're not talking about little kids. I'm talking about babies.
I know.
There's a difference.
Yes, and they have.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what a sling is.
It's like a. What did you say?
I know what a high chair is, and I know what a booster seat is.
What was the thing that you called the structure in which
a lean-to?
A lean-to. It's like a lean-to, where you put a baby seat in it, and it's like a sling. It's just like a hammock kind of thing. I've
never seen this.
It's meant for little babies
at restaurants.
I've
never seen that.
Tahoe Joe's.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you go to a restaurant and they have all these accommodations for babies, then take your baby there. Otherwise, don't go. Don't go to a restaurant that doesn't have a sling and a high chair and a booster seat. Or no, you wouldn't put a baby in a booster seat, but. Stay away. It's not being a good parent.
So you don't have a right to
eat
at a restaurant?
I think it's not being a good parent.
You don't have a right to eat at a restaurant, even...
You have any rights. This is America. You can do whatever you want. I'm saying I'm judging you as a parent, yes. If you bring a little baby in and it cries the whole time and you do nothing about it, I'm going to judge you.
What's your favorite restaurant? That place in Arroyo Grande? Ember?
I have a lot of great favorite restaurants.
If I brought a baby to Ember, would that be irresponsible?
I've never seen one in there. I go there quite a bit.
Would that be irresponsible?
I'm not saying it's never happened.
Would you say, gosh, I can't believe those people brought a baby?
And if the baby was quiet, I wouldn't even know. If the baby's screaming and crying the whole time,
there's a difference. Yes.
Then yes, I'm going to judge you.
Okay.
I'm going to judge you.
That's why you shove them underneath the table and hope that it gets loud.
That's your answer as a parent? You just shove your kid under the table?
That's
great. Lunch today.
Take a baby to lunch. It doesn't even have to be yours. It's not to be confused with have a baby for lunch. Don't have a baby for lunch today. Just take a baby to lunch.
That's disturbing.
Yeah.
Who has a baby for lunch?
Sometimes people, if you eat veal for lunch.
Yeah, somebody said a park. Park's a great place to take a baby. Yeah, because you could be attentive to the kid, and the kid can be who the kid wants to be. It's not fair to a kid if he's always being told to shut up because he's at a restaurant.
A lot of the suggestions that are coming in are places that I only will take my kids to lunch, like the Costco food court. Yes,
that is a great place to take a kid for lunch.
Firestone Grill. Yes, I take my kids to Firestone quite a bit for lunch. And the nice thing about that is the portions are so big that there's no ordering separate things. They're sharing whatever they get. They're sharing that hot dog. They're sharing that hamburger. They're sharing whatever it is, even in the kids' portions.
David said he took his kid to Hooters.
Dude, once I got a really?
All the girls want to come by and see the baby, and you're like, come on over, ladies. Hey, I like that. That's good. How you guys doing?
Oh, he's so cute.
Why don't you bend over and play with him a little?
He seems a little distracted here, though.
Yeah, he's probably thinking the same thing. 543-3693 are the numbers to get in. We got somebody on the line here. Go ahead.
Hi. I was just listening to your radio show about the baby talk.
About taking kids to nice restaurants?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I have 4 kids, but I totally agree with you. Like, keep your babies at home.
Well, my point was, I don't have kids, Jeff does. I just feel like, but I've had dogs, and so
I totally compare my dog raising to my kid raising too. By the way,
it's not fair.
Similarities.
Yeah. It's not fair to the dog. It's not fair to the kid to have to be somewhere they can't be themselves. So when they're young and they don't understand how to act, then they probably shouldn't be there.
Yeah, and back in the day, people used to get babysitters all the time and go out to eat and leave the babies at home.
Right.
Right.
Thank you for the call. It's a great point I was bringing up earlier. I'm glad you brought it back up again.
How can you honestly say that raising a kid is the same as raising a dog?
Nobody said that. Nobody
she said she compares her.
She compares it because, you got to be responsible for things that can't take care of themselves 100%.
Yeah, but dogs can take care of themselves.
No, they
dogs
can't.
After they're 6 months old, they're totally fine. Once they're house trained, they're fine to take care of themselves. Like, you have to feed them, yes. Things like that. But
you have to feed them, you have to give them water.
That requires
you have to open the door to let them outside.
Going to a bag of food, putting a cup in it, and dumping it in a bowl.
Kids are the same thing. But
kids, you have to watch on a regular basis, nonstop.
Well, when they're puppies, it's the same with a dog. A dog just matures faster. And then a baby, once it becomes out of a baby stage and it's a toddler, then they can go make themselves cereal. They can go to the bathroom.
Not
they
as
can
a toddler.
Go play in the yard.
My daughter's 4.5. She still can't make herself a bowl of cereal.
Well, that's your fault. Bad parenting.
She can, but I have to watch her do it because I know that if I don't, there's going to be milk all over the kitchen.
Because
there's going to be cereal all over the place.
You probably do it for her because you don't want to deal with the mess.
No 4-year-old
bad training.
is making and doing it right without making a mess, making their own bowl of cereal. My 18-month-old, I can't take my eyes off of him for more than 15 seconds. I gotta make sure I know exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like a puppy.
My dogs at 18 months.
No,
my dogs at 18 months are fine to roam the neighborhood if they want.
But you wouldn't just let a puppy, roam. You would have to take care of a puppy like a baby.
It is a little different.
John's on the line. Go ahead.
Well, just because you have a kid doesn't mean you're just enslaved to staying at home until the kid is 5 or 6 years old. People have the right to bring their kids wherever they go.
See, thanks, John, but I disagree with that. I don't think you have a right to go wherever. It's a privilege to go somewhere and sit in someone's establishment and have them make you a meal and serve you. Yes, you have to pay for it, but everybody just thinks everything is their God-given right.
No, the only place I've ever seen that and
it's not your right to bother me or anyone else.
As a parent, and with kids in tow, the only place I've ever seen that you've not had a right to go to was the restaurant owner on the wharf and the pier in Monterey that has a sign outside his business that says no kids are allowed in this establishment. People come here for a high-end dining experience. Therefore, we do not allow kids. And he's caught flack for that. Yeah. That's the only place that I've ever seen where you do not have the right to go to as a parent. Every other place, as long as you got cash in your pocket or a credit card to give to them, they are fine with you bringing your kids. Therefore, you have earned the right to eat at those restaurants.
What have you earned? What, you had sex with somebody, you got them pregnant, they popped out a baby, and now you've earned a right?
And you have a job in which you can pay for the food at that establishment.
I tell you what you've earned a right to. Be disrespectful to others.
No, it's not. It's not your restaurant.
As my dad always said,
your restaurant.
Kids are to be seen and not heard. If your kid is quiet and doesn't make any noise, then there's not a problem.
But unfortunately, you don't write the policies as the customer of the restaurant. The restaurant writes the policy.
I mean, if you brought somebody my age, if I went with you and made all the racket that little kids make because, they're upset and mad, they don't want to be there, they want whatever they want, that would never be tolerated. I would be asked to leave the restaurant.
I've been in places with you acting like a kid before. Nice restaurants.
Yeah.
That one time you tried to pour a whole bottle of wine in a glass.
We did it too.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Kids would
it was
never,
water, by the way. It wasn't wine. It was water.
My kids would never, ever do that.
Yeah. Well, your kids are the best in the world. Everybody knows that, Jeff.
Good morning.
Jeff and Jeremy in the morning on 93.3 KZOZ.